So, inflation might not be screaming from the headlines like it used to, but you know what? It's definitely still whispering from our bank statements. In this explainer, we're going to break down 9 super practical ways to patch the slow leak that rising prices have sprung in our finances. Let's dive right in.
So what are we actually up against? Well, this number right here, 2.7%. That's the current annual inflation rate. Now, it might not sound like a full-blown crisis, but it's stubbornly hanging out above the Federal Reserve's 2% target, and what that really means is, day by day, the cost of just about everything is quietly but constantly ticking up.
And that really gets to the core idea here. You should think of inflation less like some huge tidal wave and more like a slow, annoying leak in your financial bucket. So our goal today isn't to make these drastic, painful cuts, but to find and patch those little leaks with smart, targeted changes.
Okay, so where do we even start looking for these leaks? Well, a lot of the time, they're hiding in plain sight. Inside those bills we kind of just set and forget. So let's start right there.
First on the list, your tech bills. I mean, come on, providers are notorious for this, right? They gradually raise prices or those promotional rates just expire without much of a heads up. When was the last time you took a really close look at that statement?
And this brings us to strategy number 1. It's time to become a financial detective. Seriously, a quick audit of your bill or even just a 5-minute call to ask, hey, are there any lower cost plans, can often lead to immediate savings. And the best part? You don't have to change your service at all.
Oh, and next up is the dreaded subscription creep. You know what I'm talking about. Streaming services, apps, all those digital tools. They love to raise prices by just $1 or $2 at a time. It seems small, but man, it adds up fast across the board.
Which leads us to strategy number 2, the subscription audit. Let's be honest with ourselves. Which services are you actually using? Cutting even just 1 or 2 that you've totally forgotten about is one of the quickest ways to free up cash every single month.
Now, this one is a biggie, especially if you're a homeowner. For a bunch of different reasons, insurance premiums have been climbing way faster than overall inflation. The price you pay for protection might be going up and up, even if your coverage is staying exactly the same.
So, what do? Strategy 3, shop around for your insurance. In this industry, loyalty doesn't always pay off. You could be overpaying just because you haven't looked elsewhere. Taking just an hour, once a year, to compare quotes, make sure you're not leaving money on the table for the exact same protection.
Okay, now that we've plugged some of those hidden leaks, let's talk about making some conscious swaps that save money but don't feel like a huge sacrifice.
All right, let's bust a myth here. We're all kind of conditioned to think that store brands are a step down in quality, but the reality? A whole lot of them roll off the very same production lines as the big name brands you know and love, just with a different label slapped on.
And that's strategy number 4. Be a selective switcher. You don't have to go generic on everything, but for staples, pantry items, cleaning supplies, or over-the-counter medicines, making that switch can slash your grocery bill without you even noticing a difference.
Strategy 5 has become more powerful than ever. Embrace the second-hand market. I mean, with the price of new stuff soaring, it's not just for bargain hunters anymore. It's a really smart, mainstream way to get high-quality items, from clothes to furniture, for a fraction of the cost.
All right, time for the heavy hitters. Let's focus on the 3 areas that take up the biggest chunk of most of our budgets: food, transportation, and debt. Even small adjustments here can have a massive impact.
Just look at this difference. It's wild. A meal at a restaurant can easily cost 3 times more than making that same meal at home. Think about it. That means replacing just 1 or 2 takeout nights a month with a home-cooked version can free up a really surprising amount of cash.
Now, strategy 7 might be the single biggest money-saving move on this entire list. With car prices and interest rates being so high, the smartest car you can own is probably the one that's already in your driveway. Delaying that upgrade could save you more than all the other small cuts combined. For real. Strategy 8 is all about stopping another kind of leak: interest payments. High-interest debt, especially from credit cards, is like paying an extra tax on everything you buy. In this inflationary world, tackling that debt isn't just a good idea, it's an absolutely critical defensive move.
Okay, so we've played a lot of defense by plugging leaks and making smart cuts. For our final section, let's switch to offense. How can you make your money actively fight back against inflation?
First, we got to get our heads around this concept: purchasing power.
Here's the deal. If your money is just sitting in an account earning less than that 2.7% inflation rate, it is actively losing value. Every single day, it buys a little bit less than it did the day before.
And the difference here is, well, it's stark. The national average for a savings account pays a paltry 0.39%. Meanwhile, high-yield savings accounts are out there offering 10 times that, or even more. This is our 9th and final strategy. Move your cash where it can actually work for you.
So let's just be direct here. One of these accounts lets your money slowly get eaten away. The other one helps it keep pace with, or maybe even beat, inflation. I mean, the choice is pretty clear, isn't it?
So let's quickly recap everything we've covered. First, we're going to hunt down those hidden price hikes in our recurring bills. Second, we make smart, pretty painless swaps in our daily spending. Third, we focus our energy on the big three: food, transportation, and debt. And finally, we put our savings on the offensive.
By plugging these slow leaks, you're not just saving money, you're reclaiming it. You're giving yourself some breathing room. So the final question isn't just about how to survive inflation, it's about what you're going to build with the money you freed up. What goal will you put it towards? Because that's what really matters.